Hey, happy Saturday, puppies and bros. Okay, I'm back with another childhood favorite that Bubba and I grew up eating. It's called Albondigas, which I think just means meatball soup. Now, back when I was in a relationship for 11 and a half years, my then partner, his grandma made it with a few extra vegetables in it that didn't know uh, went in the soup. But have you ever had a soup that was pretty much very simple but very flavorful? So I'm going to show you what it takes, the way Bubba and I grew up eating it. And you can add what you want to add to it, but I'm an old stick in the mud. I don't like change with certain foods, so I might have to do this in parts because of time. At first, I was going to do photo by photo for a video slide, but I wanted to actually do it here so you can see. So, anyways, obviously, it would take ground beef, and it's been setting off. That's why it's this color. If I can raise that big ass bag of rice. No, I'm not gonna use the whole thing. I'm gonna use this again. I think it's a little over a cup and a half or something. I just compared it, but then this part's throwing me off with the measuring cup. It takes mint, fresh mint preferably, a little bit of onion, a little bit of garlic. Yes, some tomatoes. Like I said, I'll eat it if it's been in a soup bowl for a long time. Takes pepper, oregano, salt. As you know, I keep table salt in here, and garlic powder. So what gets flavored is both the water and the meats. Okay, so I'm gonna BRB to bring the thing. Since you know my mug, you don't want to be seeing my messy hair, do you? I gotta do another touch up. That's why it's messy, but it's clean. All right, BRB. Okay, so turn it to a low medium heat. Let's turn my ring off. Yes, my hands are clean. So I'm gonna get that. Let me switch this to the back burner. Better light up. There we go. Okay, I want this to get hot. Get a bit bigger bowl for that. Here. I don't want this to break. So cheap, but remember this bowl? Okay, now what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be adding a little bit of the sprigs of mint to the water. And you don't want the mint to overpower the flavor of the meat and the rice and the tomatoes. I should have left it on the front burner, I guess. Anyways, about that much is what I'm gonna use. Maybe one more little sprig, just a little tiny bit. It helps with digestion also when I make the tea. It helps with gas. Let me get a protector thing. I don't have any glass plates for a reason. No. Here. Sorry, I'm ass backwards with everything. So you put the meat in there. Wash my hands. Paper towel, it's gonna bust some. Okay. So in the meantime, as you're flavoring the meat, you don't want to put too much spice in one and not the other. So it's a matter of taste. What your preference is. I'm just a tutorial. Okay. Next is, now you have to decide you want the flavor more in the meat or in the broth. So I'm gonna want it in the meat. It's the meatball. And very little bit in the water because you can always add more after you serve yours and try it. Garlic powder. What's the time? I'm gonna keep it under 10 minutes and then I'll do a part 2 when it's halfway done. So, in there. And the oregano goes in the meat, not the. And this is my Nana's recipe, my grandfather Finley's wife's recipe. So while this is starting to get hot, I'm going to add some tomatoes. You can cut them in half if you want to cut the bursting time, but like I said, I do love tomatoes this way, but for a long time cooked. And of course, garlic goes in both the meats. Put as much as you want because it's, again, your preference. And I'm just keeping it simple, but with flavor. And you'll want to give this a stir, excuse me. And don't splash it, As you're almost done with the meatball part, then you can raise up the meat. And the onion, well, you just slice to the sizes you like. I always do mine. Oh, you know what? I have some cut up already. Slice dressed up. See why it's always good to pre-chopped stuff. Yes, I know my floor is dirty, but I don't clean it because I clean it, of course. I'm not a pig. It's just that I constantly spill things all day long, so when I know I'm not going to cook anymore or snack on anything anymore, I will add it. I will clean it. But then, same day, but later, more thing ends up on the floor. I am very clean. I do the cinder shallow type of cleaning. Now, the only time you're going to add rice early is some to the meat, not a whole bunch, because you're going to add some to that. That's going to help fill you up with the meatball. So you just get like a little handful. That might even be too much. Now what the hell? Again, you go by your preference of how you like. I'm afraid of the bowl breaking, so keep plastic. And you just combine it, obviously. And again, I go by visual and I go by scent of the meat. If I don't smell enough of pepper or garlic powder or fresh garlic in here, I will add more of what I think it needs, but I will not add any more salt. What is it? 8 minutes? Okay. So, and rice doesn't have to be in every single meatball. It would be nice. Sometimes I add green bell pepper to the meatball, but I don't have any, so I'm not adding any. But that's just my personal taste. Well, anyways, my partner then, when he told me his grandmother added Mexican squash, carrots, and potato, I said, well, that's how you grew up eating it. I'm going to keep cooking it the way I did. I tried it with it. I guess it's a taste you have to get used to, but like I said, simple does not mean no flavor. Let me see. No, that smells good. Perfect. If you're going to do and use the kind of meat you like, I kind of like the ground chuck, the cheap meat that has some fat in it. Get the size you want to make them and try to make them all the same size. Roll them up into a meatball. Don't throw it in yet, because then you'll have some cooked and some not. So just put it there and to the side. I'll show you again. Get the meat like that. Don't make a mess like I do. Yeah. Just continue the process, of course. When I cooked for me and my family, when my dad was still alive, I'd make about 150 balls, so all of us would get plenty and there'd be leftover. So that's it. So you know me, BRB while I finish rolling these up. Okay, so I'm almost done rolling up the meatballs. And the water's getting heated now where it's practically about time for me to throw in the balls. Meatballs are not, it's not boiling yet, but it's getting to be. You don't want it boiling, then you put this cold meat in. It's gonna shock the meat. That's why I let the meat sit out for like 10-15 minutes at room temperature, not somewhere where it's extremely hot and you have rotten meat, spoiled meat. So anyways, let's throw in the meatballs. I don't mean like that, jump in there slowly. So count with me, people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27. Not aimed at anybody in particular, or anybody, but there's nothing hotter than a man with a lot of balls, right? I thought not. Just a little dirty joke there. But let me wash my hands. Not there, damn it. Okay, my hands are. Nope, I didn't have the water hot enough. This really didn't have nothing. Dirty, I'll wash it later. And you don't have the rice in yet till you've given the meat like 45 minutes to an hour of boiling. Put like at a slow simmer. Just let it start boiling because you added meat to something that was already heating up. Just give it as many stirs as you want. Either in there, getting brown. Alright, and the rice, you don't want it to, unless you want it like a gravy instead of a broth, because I like it with a broth. So I'm going to put the timer for 45 minutes. Well, I'm going to put it an hour actually. That's the time. I don't want to go over 15. Okay, 1 hour. BRB once it's boiling, and I put the rice after the hour, and then I'll do a video of the finished product. Okay, BRB with part 2. Okay, the last 38 seconds is coming down, so I'm just gonna go ahead and turn it off. The timer was at 32 minutes, I poured in the cup of rice because when soup is boiling or simmering, which I had it simmering, that's the steam from the pot. When you drop in something else that's heavy, like rice, it's gonna stop, and then it needs time to boil again, and then you bring it down to a simmer and just do it the rest of the, well, there. Now the Albondigas is ready. And like me, I'm never ready, right? As you know, I don't. And if you don't want, you can skim off that when it first starts cooking the meat, so you don't get that. But I like that. For myself, I don't clean that off. If I'm giving some to Bubba, yes, or anybody else, I do skim off the foam. And you use the meat you want, but make sure it has just a little bit of fat, because then the meatball is going to be healthier. I don't know if we can make it with turkey. I don't see why not, I guess. No, if that's what you like. I'm gonna have it ready. And of course, I've always eaten that with crushed red pepper flakes. Actually, I don't know. Like when I make the spicy pickled onions, these are called chipine or something like that. But I guess because those kids couldn't pronounce it, we used to say chitapine. Sounds dirty when you say it with the S at the end. Chitapinas, because then they think people think, oh, you're saying penis. No, not saying penis. I'm just saying that. Get a clue, people. Not you, them. So you put as much as you want. Oops, don't drop it everywhere like I just did. Now I did taste it for salt, and the broth is good. I'm not gonna add salt to it, but I haven't tried the meatballs, so this little piece is available. So get that out the way. I'm trying to be fancy here. Mmm. The way you saw me flavor the meat, I mean, well, the meat, yes, it has everything perfect. The garlic, the salt, the pepper, the oregano, and the right amount of rice in there. You don't want too much rice because it's going to explode the meatball. You know, and like I said, you can have it the way you like it. I'm just showing you how Bubba and I grew up eating this, and then the other siblings, the younger siblings, grew up eating it like this too. You know, we don't, I don't know, we just grew up like this, but the simple but flavorful. Mm, burst in my mouth. All right, that's my recipe for the Albondigas recipes that I grew up eating and Bubba grew up eating and my family. But anyways, if you want to add carrots, potato, or carrot, potato, and squash, Mexican squash, I guess you can. This is the American way that Bubba and I grew up eating it. So anyways, hope you try it. If you do, tell me what you think. Alright, if you don't want to subscribe, remember thumbs up, comment, and share my videos. If not, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, people. Come on. We have the pandemic to deal with. I think we can use a little humor now and then, even if it's dirty or sarcastic. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.